I really should make a a quick trip to grab a drink or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I already hit record. What should I do?
Oh, shit. Maybe you should put that in the edit where you just walk away and come back.
Alright.
I'll
I mean, it's Square Enix. I don't really have as much to talk about. I mean, I don't... Yeah, I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
You know I will.
Yeah. It's still recording. This will still be in the edit. So it'll be kind of funny to just be watching a video where there's no talking. He also doesn't know what I'm saying right now, so the only way he'll know is if he goes back into the edit. And if he's too lazy to go back and cut this out, he'll literally upload it, and I'm just talking shit while he's going, damn it! I mean, you... None of that. None at all.
Were you saying something this whole time?
Yeah. Well, it's still recording. So.
I thought you added somebody in here for a second.
Oh. I was just talking to myself.
Alright, yeah, sure. I don't know, maybe I won't have to edit anything out then.
Hey, Code Vein just got a release date. Nice.
That wasn't
that's
Square
why
Enix.
No, I know, I'm just saying, like, this is just... Because, like, you know, they just release stuff at around E3, even though it's not
like
at E3.
outside E3 hype, okay.
I don't know what you ate, bro. Like,
apparently Portillo's, as you stated earlier. I mean, days ago. That wasn't today.
Jesus. Well, now our audience knows exactly what the inside of my anus sounds like.
Ant-Man's definitely not in there.
We are gonna get this monetized, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sure we are. I have to get a certain sub count and a certain amount of hours of watch time. I won't be getting that anytime soon, especially with these. I mean, Square Enix, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna very very briefly talk about something that they did not talk very very briefly about. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, they went on a deep dive with that.
They took way too long to talk about this. There's a release date. You know, I'm holding on to that. Doubt it will actually be that day.
Yeah, everyone does.
I've heard it only splits in 2 parts, which, I mean, on the good side, it only splits in 2 parts, so I feel pretty confident about not buying the first part.
And
it looks like shit. I'm gonna be honest, it just looks like shit. It doesn't look like Final Fantasy VII to me. I mean, we've only really got that one part being displayed. We only got the beginning really being played, but it doesn't look good to me. It just looks like a fucking shitty ass Final Fantasy VII like reskin of 15.
That's where I'll have to disagree, only because I kind of like where they're going with the combat, because the combat with 15 was shit. I'm not gonna defend that. It was just literally button mash. But this one, it is button mashing to a point, but there is they're trying to meld the turn-based and real-time together, and granted, I think it's definitely weird, but I definitely think it'd be a lot more interesting than just spamming a weapon until you see their weakness and then spam another one. I'm excited to see how they're gonna make it work. I don't know about if I'm gonna get it, the first one, because they're just gonna sell both of them together once the second one comes out anyway, and you're just gonna be like, well, shit.
That's exactly why I'm waiting. But I mean, I don't really have a problem with the combat per se. It just it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy VII. It just feels like 15 just skinned out to be 7.
What I will say is I thought the boss battle was cool and everything, when they showed it, but
Oh my fucking god, they took way too long to show that though.
Yes, and the thing with that boss fight is if you play the original, that boss fight was like a mini boss. That's not like a major boss like at all. And like how many times did it jump on the wall, shoot them, jump back, jump on the wall, like 4 times, bro. It's like, okay, this is not a major boss, and if it was, it'd be extremely boring. I do agree with you there. The thing is like with what was I going to say? It just not only was it dragged out, but it makes me think, because if you notice how cinematic this fight was, do you really think that they're going to make every single fight, especially a mini boss fight, that cinematic? Because if they did, that would be such a waste of time. I doubt it.
It's probably
I feel like
why it's in 2 parts.
What I think what they're doing is this is just to like be like, this is the first fight to look all flashy and stuff, but I think the other fights aren't going to be nearly as flashy, and I wouldn't want them to be, because again, that fight literally was just, oh, you use lightning magic because, oh, it's super effective. That was it. It wasn't like, oh, it gets like the shield and shit. Like I understand like it's more engaging, but as a boss fight, it is not a major boss fight. You literally beat it and then you leave the fucking reactor. Like if it just felt like too much flash for what it was worth. Now, if it was like a Sephiroth fight or something like that, okay, fine, make it flashy. But for like a fucking robot, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I don't know. It just seemed like it was way too cinematic in the sense like I don't like games where you're playing it and it breaks the flow of the game, where it cuts to a cutscene, then back to gameplay, then cuts to a cutscene, then back, and that's what it was doing. And I really don't like that in games. I really hope the whole game isn't like that and it was just for flair for the first boss. Well, boss in quotations, but I do agree with you in that. I'm interested in it. I'll probably still buy the first one, even though I say I won't because I'm a fucking Final Fantasy fuckboy like that. But
see, I thought if they were gonna break it into like 3-4 parts, I was like, okay, maybe I should get them in parts, because that way they'll actually have the money to do it, and they won't do another like 15 season pass thing where they don't have the money. But when I heard when I heard it was only going to be split in 2, I'm like, oh yeah, no, they'll definitely do it. There's people with a nostalgia hard on that will pretty much carry the money and support for the next one. I don't need to do that.
And honestly, a lot of people are giving him shit for being in multiple parts. Like I see why they are, but I also, knowing how big that game really is, like just the PS1 version is fucking huge. So to make that a modern game, just from like an objective standpoint, that's a lot of shit to make into a game. So I get that it needs to be in 2 parts. I don't like it, but I get it. So, but if people skip the first one for that reason, I don't blame them at all. Really don't. But like me, I mean, Final Fantasy, I have like every mainline game. Like I'm one of those fuckboys like that. So I'll get it, but that's just me.
Watch as they call it like Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 7-2 as well.
I swear to God.
They fucking will. They fucking will. Alright, what a transition. Alright, Life is Strange 2 is the next thing I watched. Or the next thing I wrote down. And it sounded exactly like that sound you just made out of your ass.
Yeah.
I just wrote, it's an unnecessary trailer of cringe. It's a game that, like, I got excited because I thought that they were saying that I thought this was going to be Life is Strange 3 because it really shows how little I've given a shit about 2. I thought they were going to talk about 3. And when it said final, I thought they were ending it. I'm like, thank God that franchise is dead. Because I don't know how it even became a franchise. But nope, it's just basically a little stupid trailer for the final chapter of it. And yeah, it seemed a lot of people were on the boat with that one. There was like I don't know if you heard, but there was like a very, very quiet woo for Life is Strange 2. That was everyone. Everyone else pretty much shut up about it. The fact that it just had all the YouTubers reacting, I was like, no, stop.
Yeah, it was kind of cringy to see the reactions like that. Like, I get like they're trying to, because it's a more emotional game. I get that, but I don't know.
Well, the only thing sad about it is that it fucking exists. That there's more than just Life is Strange 1.
I can't say because I only played like the first 10 minutes of the first one, but
Dude, I platinum trophied the first one literally because I said fuck it. I went through so much shit already. I could just go back and do the other alternative choices. Yeah, well, no, fuck that game.
I hate how
what?
I hate how it comes out in episodes. I think that's just annoying because you're going to pay for the episodes, and then they're going to release an all version on disc, and you're like, well, what the fuck's the point?
See, that's what I was trying to do with the Telltale games, but then what they kept doing instead was the season pass disc, and they would never make an all DLC on disc version. So then I just wouldn't buy them. Yeah, I know I eventually want to get the Batman Telltale on Switch, because on Switch they actually have all the episodes on the cartridge.
Yeah, don't they have that for Walking Dead now too?
See, I keep hearing that there's actually like a now where it's like all of them in one. I'm like, where do I fucking buy that? Because that's what I've been wanting the whole time.
Yeah, I think I saw that something about that.
There was the Skybound was selling it online where you had to buy a collector's edition, and that's what was pissing me off. I had to spend $250 on a bunch of shit I didn't care for when I just wanted the game. Yeah. But apparently somewhere it's floating around. I know I could probably wait till it's been out and then buy it on eBay. I don't know. But, that's all I really want to give Life is Strange time and day for. Dragon Quest II's got multiplayer. That's alright, right? It's kind of...
Oh, the Dragon Quest Builders?
Yeah, Dragon Quest Builders 2. It's got multiplayer, finally.
I never understood, Builders myself. Like, I like Dragon Quest the game, but I never got the Builders part of it. But, it's for a younger audience, I suppose. But
the way I saw it was, I wanted to play Builders, but only if I was able to play it with some friends,
Yeah, right.
But they didn't have it. Now they do in this one. And I remember I saw a lot of people, pissed off they didn't have that for Switch. Mm-hmm. They're like, why isn't it on Switch? I'm like, because Switch can't run it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but no. Switch can't run everything, so I don't want games getting downgraded just so you can have it on the go.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
You know what? I wrote another game that I was a little interested in called Battalion 1944. It's that World War II shooter.
Yeah, that actually looked pretty solid, not gonna lie.
It looked pretty good, but at the same time, my note looked unfinished.
Yeah.
It looks unfinished. Maybe it's an early, it's early state or something. And then it was like, it's available on Steam right now. I'm like, what? Really?
Yeah. And my thing with that was, it wasn't so much the graphics, but just the gameplay just looked really tight on that one. Honestly, for a shooter, that was the main thing that I liked about it. But yeah, I can definitely see why you thought that.
But it's definitely something I might give a try as well. I mean, I probably will look into it later tonight, just if it's already on Steam. I can look at prices and shit.
My thing with shooting games is I really like when the guns have weight to them and really feel like they're powerful and have differences in them. And I really got the sense of that from that trailer. Everything, every gun, really felt good. Just to watch, let alone play. Just to watch, they just felt really satisfying to use. I don't know. I'm weird like that with shooters. I feel like they need to have a really good game feel, and a lot of them don't. So when I see one that does like that, it gets me excited. So I'll definitely look into that too.
Let's see. The next one I got written down was Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC.
Yeah, I wrote that too. I have a lot to say about that. Not a lot of good things to say about that. One being that, okay, you can play as Riku, Roxas, and Aqua, but here's the thing. Roxas wasn't in the game only at the last fight, so it's like, what? Are they just gonna let you fight in that one fight that Roxas was in? Okay, cool. And then Riku and Aqua were already programmed in the game. They were already playable. So why do I have to pay to use them?
I thought it was free. Are they? Is it not free?
No. You have to pay for that.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm not doing that. Fuck that.
Yeah. It's like, what?
I thought it was a free update. So I was like, you know what?
No, because you also get secret bosses. You get more bosses to fight, and then there's a mini story segment as well. But the story segment, the trailer did not tell you anything about it. It just showed Lushu. Zigbar. For people that
hey, it's been way past a month.
Yeah, but it didn't really tell you anything about the story, and it didn't really get me excited, and it didn't tell me what bosses we were gonna fight. I would be happy if you fought maybe the foretellers or Master of Masters or something, because they always, in the old games, you would always fight a secret boss that would tie into the next game. But I feel like they should have shown that, you know what I mean? The things that people actually care about. And then they're going to have some the Keyblade skins are free, but who gives I don't give a shit about that. Okay, fine. But yeah, so I'm literally the target audience for that DLC, and I just didn't see much to it. And again, it's what? why do I need to pay for that? Yeah.
Alright, the next one I got is that one called Outriders.
Yeah, I put that down too.
I kind of breezed over the development part of it because I watched the trailer and honestly I want another Death Stranding. I want it to be where I kind of ignore it so I could have that mystery behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the trailer really showed all I personally really need to know, and I feel like the less I know now, the better.
I am interested in it. The story looks pretty cool in that one. I wanted to keep an eye on it. It hasn't sold me yet, but I want to keep an eye on it. For sure. That was the main thing I wanted to say about it. But I just haven't seen enough yet,
Yeah. I got one last thing, and this thing was this. I forgot was going to be mentioned, and I'm really glad they took a lot of time for it. But the Avengers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That trailer to me looked really good. It looks like they're really focusing on the story. The cast was actually pretty big, and it was funny because I noticed Nolan North immediately.
Troy fucking Baker.
Troy Baker, yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. I'll take it.
But what I love is, not only do they have that story, but they also said they're going to do online co-op missions as well.
Yeah. Which that would be really cool.
With a growing roster and mission list for free. Mm-hmm. And no loot boxes or pay-to-win items.
Yeah.
And
that definitely
all that shit was oh my god, this is another game. Battletoads, fucking Lego Minecraft Dungeons, and Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft Dungeons, Battletoads, and now the Avengers are gonna all be games I can play with the boys.
Yeah, and honestly, Avengers would be pretty dope.
I really see that for us too, because I feel like each of us have a different character we really hang on to and appreciate.
Yeah, definitely.
And with that roster constantly growing, I can't wait. And
the only thing I'm worried about with that is they said it was gonna be released as a service. I hope it's just the co-op stuff and not the main story.
Oh, I definitely, the way they said it made it sound like it was definitely just the co-op stuff.
Yeah. I hope that's the case, but I was just worried. That's all. But it definitely looks pretty great. The voice acting was pretty fucking great, and the story looked pretty interesting too. It was almost like another take on like a different Civil War. You know what I mean? So it interested me a lot, definitely. Yeah, like you said, with the boys, that'd be really fun.
I'm super excited for that, and they one thing I wrote down because I thought it was really funny is you hear the one guy scream, "I like your shirt."
Yeah.
And then one smartass was like, "Thank you, you're welcome." Like, they just scream a conversation back and forth.
Yeah, there was a lot of people screaming, and what I love is the dude didn't even understand a word they were saying, but he tried to act like he did. The guy on stage. Like, it was great.
I remember, I think it was the Final Fantasy VII, but when that was done, somebody was like, "Take my wallet!"
Yeah, I heard that. He's like, "Where's my wallet?" Yeah, I heard that too. The people were really excited, bro. And also keep in mind, those are like people in just like the press. Like, those aren't even like normal fans. It's great. But was that everything you had for Square?
Yeah, really, that was about it.
I had a few more for Square. I can skip them if you want, or I could go through them real quick because I'm just.
No, I think you should because my thing was there's a lot of stuff that just kind of felt generic, like generic weeb shit. But maybe you'll mention it, and other people will just be excited for. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my thing is I'm a big Final Fantasy guy, of course. And my personal favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy VIII. And it got announced to get a remaster. And that made me really happy because for years they're like, yeah, we're remaking 7. Yeah, we're remastering 9, 10. We're remaking, we're remastering 12. And they skipped 8. So many years. Like, so many versions and they skipped 8, and I never knew why. But it finally got remastered. Finally, so an 8 being my favorite, I'm glad to see it on modern consoles. So it's another reason to buy it again. Also, I thought 14 looked pretty cool. 14 because I just haven't given it a shot because I don't like paid for subscription monthly kind of thing, kind of model, but. The story looks weeby and interesting, but I like that kind of shit. But no, the trailer for 14 Shadowbringer actually looked pretty legit. That's just from an outside perspective, as someone who hasn't really played 14. But it interested me. And then the Last Remnant remake or remaster, I should say. The Last Remnant's also been in my backlog for a really long time. So. And I was actually really excited to try. I'm the kind of guy that likes to go and play those random JRPGs that like are really obscure. So I'll probably get that too. And then
in the background.
I didn't think you could hear that. I didn't think you could hear that. I was trying to stay serious. I was like, should I do it?
Oh my god.
Now you guys take me seriously again. I seriously thought you didn't hear that. I like that weeb shit. We need someone who gives a shit to count how many times we ripped ass in all of these videos. But anyway, also the fact that they're remastering the Romancing Saga. I always wanted to get into Saga. They're like old school RPGs. It was just one that I never really got into. They weren't ever really popular in the West either, so not a lot of them came over. So I'll probably pick that up just to finally get into it. And then Anunnaki, I'm really excited for. It's made by the same people that did like the original Final Fantasies and Bravely Default. So, just another weeby RPG that I'd like. That's everything I have.
I was gonna mention The Last Remnant and 8, but I remember I was like, I'm not gonna write 8 because I know Andrew will.
Yeah.
The Last Remnant. No, The Last Remnant.
The Last Remnant.
I didn't write down either. I was a little intrigued at first, but then I saw the available tonight on Switch.
Yeah, I wouldn't get it on Switch. It's coming to PS4 as well.
I was like, you better be shitting me. Like,
yeah.
That's digital only for Switch? Really?
Yeah.
That was the message I got at the end of that, but... Because I was like, oh, well, I've had it for 360 for so long. Maybe I should just get, a PS4 copy or an Xbox One copy instead and play with that.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, it's on PS4 as well, but I think it is only digital only. I haven't picked it up yet, but
if it's digital only, I'm gonna stick with my 360 copy because I mean,
yeah, me too. I have it on 360 as well. They also did that with Star Ocean, Last Hope. They're like, yeah, we're remastering it. It's digital only, bitches. And I'm like, well, fuck you then. I'm keeping my PS3 version. So. But yeah, I like that kind of shit. Maybe limited run, maybe.
Well, I don't know. They might be pretty preoccupied with that really shit list of theirs.
Yeah, I wasn't too impressed by a lot of it.
I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad they got the Star Wars shit in there, but
yeah.
I think if Limited Run got Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2,
oh hell yeah,
that I would have been like, I would throw down money for that. But all the ones they announced were all the ones I was like, I could just get the older copies.
Yeah, it's much more worth it, definitely. But I was excited, like I said, for Transistor, but that was pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's it for me for Square Enix.
That's it for me too. We have hit 28 minutes. We will never do 15, but I mean, I guess 30 is better than what we were worried about.
Yeah, 2 hours. No, 2.5 hours.
I was worried about reaching an hour.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much for watching all these. Hopefully, as Nintendo posts theirs out and as more comes out, hopefully we'll be able to upload more of these and talk more. So
yeah,
and those will actually be on different nights. So I mean,
yeah,
I mean,